Hello friends, I am Dr. Kr.Chakrabarti on behalf of our YouTube channel BnCMS Study Festivity. Today I am taking up my fifth presentation on the Patriot and Old Story. It is the continuation of my present uploading. So in this part I will discuss the critical appreciation. Some parts of critical appreciation have been discussed in the last video, and in this deliberation, in this video, you will get the complete critical appreciation of the poem The Patriot and Old Story. Please be tuned and stay with us. Thank you. Then comes to the fourth part. I am fickle-mindedness of public. Fickle-minded, this is the fourth part of my discussion today. This is very, very important. Very, very important. Try to consider it. First of all. The story is all about a patriot. The patriot has got two types of fate, one positive fate and one was negative fate. What is the positive fate? The positive fate was that he was applauded, he was given the celebrity status. Celebrity status was given to him. He was accepted with a huge bang because he brought glory and honor for the countrymen. But we are not at all, we do not know what type of works he did, what type of glory he has brought in. Basically, what was his contribution in this regard? What was his contribution in the regard? Which has brought glory, fame, honor for the country. It is absolutely absent in the poem. Clear? Just you see. Just try to consider the point. The patriot was given a huge ovation for some honor extended to the countrymen. But what was his performance? Whenever we were at one time appreciating Sourav Ganguly or Sunil Gavaskar or Sachin Tendulkar or Dhoni, because we have seen that they have contributed something. But he was giving the ovation. He was being given the celebrity status, but you do not know his contribution. Again, in the same way, the man is being hanged. That is a negative. The man has been convicted for misdeeds. But what are the misdeeds? So it is not cleared. Absolutely, it is the perception of the fellow. It is the perception of the public. The public thought he has done beautiful things for us. The public later thought that he has done wrong for us. Clear? So it is basically the perception that made him the patriot, that made him the criminal. So it is only the perception of the public, was the responsible to make that man hero, to consider that man as a criminal. And this, it's a case of only 1 year. It's only 1 year, 12 months. In between, the perception of the public has been changing. The perceptions of the public have changed. What does it mean? The public is very unstable. They are very unstable. They cannot maintain. They are lacking of the stability. Had they have that amount of stability, the man should have not been hanged. Clear? So it is basically the instability, that is the fickle-mindedness of the public that resulted in, that make him the patriot as the national hero, and that also made him as the criminal, national criminal, convicted. Okay. and sentenced to death, and he was publicly hanged. So that is another very, very important part. I think I have cleared this part, and you please, what you are going through in my presentation, please have a critical look and make necessary comments after my presentation to may help me enriching my views with the views of the learned fellow, with the views of the students too. So comment is very, very essential, and whether you have seen or not, you must give a reaction, like or dislike, whatever you may be, because I will understand that you have gone through, okay, and you have gone through very, very vividly. When I will realize, when I will think that you have made a comment. The comment is very, very essential. It does not mean always it will be a good comment. Sir, you are teaching beautifully, sir, you are fabulous, your analysis is so fine. Not such. You state your own personal opinion. It may be good, it may be bad. I am ready to accept any amount of criticism. Okay, thank you. The next one. Then the title. The title is very, very important. The title. If you see, if you scan it, it is stated The Patriot and Old Story. I am coming to this part, Patriot. Justify whether the term the Patriot is absolute, appropriate or not, suitable or not, whether it is apt or not. The story started with roses, roses, roses everywhere. Okay, what does it mean? It's a reception. Rose is basically is a symbol of appreciation, is a symbol of appreciation, symbol of gratitude, okay, symbol of glory. So we have started with the rose. So it is sure, it is 100% okay that he was something, he was someone who has done a marvelous job for the country, for the country, and that is why the roses were there. Okay. Again, if we go down the line, if you go to the if you go through all the stranger, you will see that it is patriot everywhere. Patriot is received. Patriot is telling it is disgusting, it is helpful, it is repelling. Do something which is very permanent, which is everlasting. Okay. Then then this patriot is again carried at the Sambul's place, where he will be hanged, where he will be sentenced to death. So all along, everywhere, it was the patriot, patriot, patriot. It was the appreciation of the patriot, it was the celebrity status of the patriot, it is the grand reception of the patriot, it was the comment on the part of the patriot that it is not sufficient, it is disgusting, it is repelling. Then he is telling that what I have not done for you, I have lived at the sun, I lived to the sun. It means I have done maximum, I have left no stone unturned for your development, for your success, for your honor, for your glory, for your betterment. And again that man is carried over there for execution, for the mischiefs, although we do not know the mischiefs. So everywhere is patriot and patriot and patriot, and so no other title would have been better than patriot. So the term patriot is absolutely suitable and an apt title. Then in some of the story, some of the poem, in some of the book it is written only the patriot, but the original poem is, the title of the poem is Patriot and Old Story. It is subtitle. An old story. What is the meaning? Just to justify whether it is right or not. What is old? It is an old story. It old does not mean it was the happening of the before the civilization or at the advent of the civilization. It was not an historical event. The old here does not mean old. This adjective does not mean it was an historical, not historical, an ancient, but it is an old. Old means a regular story. Here the term old has been referred to mean very, very common story. It is a common story. Why common? The man was given the celebrity status. Within 1 year, the man was sentenced to death. it is only happened, and have we seen only this in the story, in the poem of Robert Browning, A Patriot, the Patriot? No, we have also seen it many times. Think the case of Julius Caesar. You think the case of Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar had a beautiful trip, beautiful tour in Egypt, and he made massive spreading of the Roman Empire, massive spread of the Roman Empire, and the Roman people started him taking as the greatest person under the world, and he was accepted by the world. He was accepted by the Roman people with a huge bang, and everybody, each and everybody became his follower. But what is he? Later on, what is that? Socrates becomes the dictator, and the Council of Athens, and the senators accepted him as a criminal, and he was punished and he was killed by a senator. I think you have gone through the small poem, this Julius Caesar. So the same way, Julius Caesar became the patriot, again became the criminal, and he was murdered by the senator. Same thing happened in case of Socrates. Socrates was being treated as the wisest man. He was the wisest man. The oracle of Delphi, in classical Greece, in the oracle of Delphi, the classical Greece considered him the wisest man of the world. But the fame of Socrates, the effect of his works among the young fellow threatened the Council of Athens. The members of the Council of Athens, they thought it a great threat to them. So they adjudged him on the ground that Socrates was corrupting the youth. So he is corrupting, he is helping the youth to go to corruption, to adhere to corruption and going to exploit them. Okay, he was sending them to astray. So on this allegation, the man was sentenced to death. Such happens to also in case of Thomas More. Sir Thomas, although he has not been killed, but it is his status right now. Once he was treated as a very, very wise man, very, very noble fellow, but later on he has been as one of the treacherers. So these are not the events. So it is an old story. It is a very, very common story to many. It happened to many persons of the world. Okay, so the subtitle is very, very appropriate in this case. So the case of Patriot is not the new in the one. It is not the unique case. It is a very, very common case. It happens. It happens normally. So that is why the total title, The Patriot and the Old Story, absolutely justified one. And there is no question, there should not be any note of interrogation that why this type of title is given by the learned poet, Mr. Robert Browning. Then comes the ambiguity in the poem. Ambiguity. Ambiguity in the poem. Ambiguity means double meaning, okay? Double meaning. Wherein lies the ambiguity? First of all, the man has brought honor, he has brought glory. He has brought glory. He was given the celebrity status at his entry in the towns. The countrymen saw him first. When he passed, after his achievement, he was given the huge reception. But what for the reception? I have already told you, and again that amount of ambiguity. If the reception is there, then what happened after 1 year that a man is going to be hanged? but हजम नहीं हुआ. What happened? So there is no clarification. There is no clarification on the part of the storyteller, story writer, the author, poet regarding what events, what was the fate, why was this fate? That was a positive, highest positive, and there's a lowest negative, or highest negative, I would like to say. So if I consider it in that way, so why this? This is it is not absolutely clear in the poem. If you go through the poem in detail, you will never get the answer of this. So it is an absolute ambiguity in the poem. Then comes the message. Very, very important. The message. No story, no poem, no novel can have value until and unless it extends some message to the readers, message to the society, message to the performers. Okay? So this poem gives important messages. Number one, over optimism. The Patriot was accepted with a great bang. He was honored beautifully. In some uncommon way he was honored. He was with rose, myrtle, with huge flags, with church bell. Everything was fantastic. It was a fantastic environment when he was entered. Clear? Fine. Very fine. Then what he said? Then what happened? What happens, do you know? Whenever you are accepted as a hero, great hero, the hero, what does he do? What does he do? He gives promises, promises and promises. You see the netas, no? You consider the netas of our country winning the election, coming in the power. Before coming to power, they publish their manifesto. We will do, they basically bring a list of 1,000 works he will be doing for the sake of the countrymen. So it is a public manifesto. Here is the promises. Here are the promises. Then with that promise, people have been coming at the promise, the people have given them their verdict and they have been chosen as for the power and they form the government. Coming to the government, what happens? Coming to the government, most of them, most of the promises basically are not kept. And often say the promises are not to be kept. Promises are for not to be kept. Promises are for not to be kept. And when the promises are not kept, the public, what will they give you? At the day when you are thrown, when you are put in the throne, you are given flower. You are given a huge reception, celebration, reception, everything was there. But what you have given today? So we think that our Patriot also might have done that type of thing. He was given the huge status of a noble man, noble hero. But what happened is during the last 1 year, you see some words, some lines. Alack, it was I who leaped at the sun. Alas, abat means alas. It was I myself, who leaped at the sun. That means I tried to do the impossible. I leaped at the sun. Nobody can leap at the sun. It is morphically used to mean that I have done the most. I have tried to do the impossible things for you. But have I done it? Have I done it? No. If our government says each and every person, every citizen will be given 10 lakhs within 5 years, is it possible? But that type of promise might have been given. That type of promise was given, the promises have not kept, and naturally what will be the fate? So people, I have already told you, people are very, very fickle. They cannot remember the good things. If you feed someone during the 10 days, beautiful jalvada from Surya Modak. Aha, bahut acha, bahut acha, bahut acha. Huh? Say our teacher, one teacher brings jal vada for me every 7 days, for every 7 days. 7. Saturday 7 and then coming Saturday 7, and during the 7 I completed. And now if any week she fails to bring, what I will give? Obviously, sorry, I will be unhappy. And the question on me, I will give some negative vote. Okay, negative. So if it happens to my case, it might be happening among the millions. So the millions, I think the man gave me the promise. Not man could do, have I left undone, not man. There is nothing in the world which cannot be do. And I have left undone. I have left nothing undone. But you have lifted the sun. You have tried to do the maximum, but you have failed to do that one. So that is the basic. So coming at the power. You just say, what happened to Julius Caesar? Julius Caesar was fantastic. He was a hero. Originally, he was a hero, but gradually he became the dictator. Instead of thinking of the masses, thinking for the masses in their tune, he started thinking in his tune. Okay, अपने माफिक मत सोचिए, आप सोचिए दूसरे के माफिक. You go into the depth of the public spirit. Okay, I think our patriot was not in a position to understand the spirit of the public, the spirit of the fellows, spirit of this countryman. He was giving a great bang and gave huge promises, but that is over optimism. I will do that. हम ये करेंगे, हम वो करेंगे, हम वो करेंगे, but ultimately कुछ नहीं करेंगे. ठीक है ना? Today, if you just I am telling you today, what is happening? We appreciate Dhoni. When Dhoni is there, everything is possible. But what is possible right now? When in today's IPL, everybody is basically hating him. Today's newspaper it has been news is there that this year Dhoni should have not played IPL. Okay. He has not been hanged, but the words, the perception of the public is nothing but he is hanging. So he is being neglected. What for? Because he has the absolute reason. He placed himself in such a way that I will do the miracle in the IPL. I will make our Chennai Super Kings the champion. But every day they are facing the defeat. So naturally, what will happen? And that is the result. So over optimism. So do not maintain any over optimism. Optimism is good, very good. Be always optimistic, but don't be optimistic, because anything over is not at all wanted. It is not a rational approach. So it was over optimism. It is an irrational thought, irrational approach on the part of the patriot, and I think that is the cause of his downfall. Okay, so that is over optimism. Then finally, the faith of God. Faith of God, and that is the final part. And so we should. The man treated as a hero. The man is being treated as a hero, as a criminal. Okay. Now he was in joy. Now he is in sorrow. Okay. Now he was in joy. Now he is in sorrow. Naturally, nobody is ready to accept the sorrow. But in the days of sorrow, how do you accept it? How do you pass your days? What would be your mental status at the time when you are being suffered from something unwanted? Then I think the only thing is that have the spiritual feeling, have the spiritual feeling, because we are basically atheists. Most of the atheists, we should think that sorrow is there, but I am going to the other world where the Almighty, it is the world of Almighty, and this Almighty always carries justice. He carries justice. He will do no harm to me. I will be very safe, sure in the lap of the Almighty, at the bosom of the Almighty. Okay. So that is another message. So whatever sufferings, so this is the message on the part of the poet, that whatever be the sufferings in your life, have faith on God, which is actually absent in our days today, in our daily life today. So have faith on God. And if you go through the creation or the different poems and short stories of Robert Browning, you will see his writings basically ended with this amount of philosophy. This amount of philosophy, that is optimistic philosophy, the philosophy of spiritual. Each and every aspects very vividly. If anything remains, please let me know. I will try to clear in the coming days. Thank you very much.